Okay, Rocketeers, a very warm welcome to everyone. I think this year has been a lot of webinars with all of you, and this one is very special. We had them as a previous guest as well, but this product has been raging in the communities everywhere. Like everyone wants to grab it, and they have been doing rounds and applauses everywhere once the moment they launched. So welcome Team Floik, Naman, who heads the growth at Floik, and Abhishek, who heads the product at Floik. Thank you so much, folks. I think I've never seen such good praises for a product and people being so passionate that they want to give a lot of good feedback, and you folks are actually acting upon it. So welcome once again, and thank you for your time. I know it's very late for us, but you have been very support about that. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karan, for introducing. That's pretty great, and really like excited to be here right now.
Awesome. Great. So let's begin with, I think for people who will be seeing this live, who couldn't attend this live, but will be seeing it in later. What is Floik in few sentences, and why the world needs Floik, right? Why it's SaaS world, the salespeople, why they need to have less meetings, why they need to have less to and fro's, and just give them a link, and that sorts their life out. So, what do you think? Why people need Floik, and then we can move forward with showcasing people how it works, and with the new updates. I think the new UI revamp which happened a month ago, how it's turning out, and let's go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of things that you have asked, it might take a lot of time to actually, but I'll keep it very precise and very brief as well for you guys so that you guys don't get bored. So in a nutshell, right? So Floik is an automated universal platform to enable customer facing teams. And when I say customer facing, I really talk to, let's say, your sales team, your marketing team, your customer success teams, right? All of them who are facing the customers directly or indirectly to create product collaterals, right? Now, again, when I say product collaterals, what I really mean is whether it is a screenshot based how to guides, videos, interactive demos, anything that you really want to build regarding your product to educate your customers, all at a single place. Now, what it does is it enables like the customer facing teams the lesser development costs and more revenue opportunities, right? In terms of how well and how easily they can actually explain their product to the customers, right? So it all started, right? We started off a journey realizing that the customer facing teams do spend a lot of time actually like creating those product collaterals, and there is a broken personalized product collateral generation which results in higher development time, poor user experience, and lost customers. So we spoke to a lot of SaaS teams, software facing teams, and what we realized is even people who actually work in this industry, that when they talk to the customers or when they actually try to explain the product to the customers, there are a lot of gaps in terms of how they look at it and how the customers perceive it. And that's what we thought, like how easily and how fast we could solve. And that actually like gave birth to Floik as an idea, which and then we came out in public in August this year. We got off to a very great response in terms of like we launched on Product Hunt, and we absolutely had no background, right, in terms of how the product would be perceived. And we got number one product of the day, number one product of the week, number third product of the month, right? And number one product of the week for marketing as well. That was a humongous response that we got, and we were pretty excited about like exactly how people were perceiving Floik, and how they wanted to explore the platform for their own. So with such a good response in our hands, we thought maybe how we can actually quickly reach to hundreds and like thousands of folks who could benefit out of us, and so that we can actually grow pretty fast as well. People can use us. We can actually realize a lot of different use cases, and that's where we launch on Rocket Hub, right? So this is in a nutshell about our history and what Floik is, right? And to give you like how it has been post the launch on Rocket Hub. So when we launched, right, we had a basic platform which helped you actually create those product collaterals. But post that, as Karan, you mentioned previously, we revamped our UI. We introduced the team space so that actually couple of team members can work around, collaborate, and everything, right? So that again, the response on the team space was pretty good. We saw around 60% of RocketHub users actually inviting team members onto the team account, and which was pretty good to see, right, in terms of how people are exploring how they want to collaborate. And then we started getting certain requests of features, like how we can collaborate more, how we can add how we can download what we are creating, how we can share it in a private mode. So that's how the journey has been. We have been hearing all in all in terms of the Facebook communities and everything, and making note of what people do really want. And post that, couple of quarters are pretty exciting in terms of what features we are going to roll off as well.
Got it. Yeah. I think, yeah, people have been reaching out to us saying that they've seen some things, and literally after you introduce the teams aspect, and kind of where people can introduce themselves or
Yeah,
add more members, people have we have seen a lot of increase in sales
yeah,
and people grabbing the product because their use case was that, right? They have big
yeah,
teams, or they wanted to buy for someone else who had big teams, and now they're able to invite more people to use the platform rather than them just being on the solo front.
yeah,
So I think that's awesome. Amazing. So let's deep dive into the product, and let's show our audience what Floik is capable of,
yeah,
and how you can, let's say, start from ideation stage of what you need to create a demo of, and then to the stage where the demo is published and it's
yeah,
shareable via link or embeddable to any website.
yeah.
So let's do that. Let's show the magic.
Absolutely. I think now this is the hat best worn by Abhishek. Abhishek, over to you, man. Let's show exactly what we've got in our
Perfect.
hat.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Perfectly, man.
Okay. Yeah, so I hope you guys can see my Chrome browser.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, so I'm taking a scenario. So here, assume that this is a website built by me, and then this, as a product head, I would want to add a lot of features onto this website, different features I've added based on different use cases. So as a product is being built, there are a lot of features added, there are a lot of use cases being thought through, and it's being taken care of that. But the problem, what happens is when the end user view tries to use this product, he won't know what is the feature here, or what are the different features available in this particular product. For example, there are some things here, I can go to product, I can go and see how to add a new product, how to edit a product, or the order details and everything. All these are kind of hidden here based on the different discussions what usually a product team goes through. Now to solve that, your end users to get an experience of what the product is, and also have them understand what the product is. So we have built Floik here. So you can go here and have them, have the creators or the product guys create different kinds of content here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with interactive demo. So this is a Floik homepage once you log into the app. So this is one of the templates what we have here. Before you start the recording, you should have the extension installed. So this works with Chrome. So go ahead and install the Chrome extension, and I can select the tab which I want to record. So in this case, I have this website here. Select that, share, and then, okay. So now before the recording starts, I want to do some pre-recording steps. So example, in this case, let's say I want to blur out some sensitive information. So let's say I don't want to show my end users. I want them to see the product, but I don't want to see some sensitive information. It can be password, or it can be some price related information. So I can just blur it out. So not just the users, even Floik will not have access to this once the recording is complete. So once I have blurred out all the informations, I say done. And then now I can click on start capturing. So before that, there are other features which are available here. Like I can say in what dimension or aspect ratio my recording has to start. So I can choose that. And then I say start capturing. So now as a product head, I'm going to go ahead and say what are all the features available here. So this is my dashboard page. You can see all the different graphs which are available here. And then you can go to, let's say, applications. You can click on Kanban. You'll see different tasks here which have been created based on different states. I can click on plus to add a new task. And then say add. So now this task gets added here. Then you can also see a wizard. So here you can add all the basic information, click on next, then select whatever role you want, and then click on next, and then fill out all the other information. And then the last one would be like just click on calendar here, and then see all the tasks which have been scheduled for me for the month of August. Click on today to actually see what are all the tasks which have been scheduled for today. So I've done like a quick walkthrough of all the different features which are there here. And once I'm done, I'll just say done. So now the flow gets, we're calling it a flow here, the video, what is getting recorded. So the flow is getting uploaded at this point in time. And once the upload is complete, there are a set of operations which happens with this particular flow. Like we do different kinds of jobs on this flow, like we would do transcribing, transcoding. And since it's an interactive demo, Floik would add different kinds of interactive elements on this flow so that user does not have to do this manually. So I'm going to show that while this is done. So while it'll take some time based on the length of the video. So while this happens, let me go through all other templates what we support. So the interactive demo is the first one. So wherein, let's say my customer base who would want to explore this product, want to get a hands-on experience on the product, like click and use the product, then I would go for this particular template. So this is when I would use this template and create a recording. And then the second one is a step-by-step guide. So let's say a use case for me is how to add a product or how to edit a product. So I want to create a step-by-step instruction or tutorial on how it needs to be done. Instead of like having to go them through the entire video, I just give them a read-only document kind of version. So in that version, so what I do is I use step-by-step guide. So this is play with it. This is read it. The last one is a screen-only video. So let's say my use case here is I have different kinds of visual content. I want my users to actually view the content. I'm doing some kind of storytelling here, or I'm actually indirectly doing some kind of views and showing them how it works. So in that case, I will just do screen-only video. And then we have like others as well, wherein you can turn on your presenter camera and while the screen is getting recorded, you can show that, or you can just do a camera only where you're just explaining something about yourself or about something, or you're presenting a specific topic about. Now, this is the recent flows here. All the recent flows what I've created show up here. This is the recent one which I've created. It's still happening. So if you would see here, the processing has been complete. Now it's generating a preview of that. And once it's done, it will auto-publish the flow. So there are 3 tabs here, what you see. The first one is edit. This is where the creator can come and view all the different actions he could do on this interactive demo. The second one is share. So you'll get here copy link. You can just copy this and then open this flow. And this is a public link which is accessible worldwide. You can open this and see the experience of how your flow looks like. I'll come back to the end user view. So then we have embed code. So where you can see just copy the code and then put it on one of your websites or put it on like third-party tools. You could do that here. So coming back on the edit page, so as I mentioned, like there are different elements which have been added. So all these are added automatically based on the clicks which I had done while I was recording the screen. So if you would see here, the first one is the interaction queue, which would basically mean when the end user view opens the flow, we would want them to see like how do you experience. So if you want to ask some kind of questions before they get started with the entire product, you can ask them some questions, or you can take them to specific links. So you can add hyperlinks to this button. So that is what this particular interaction queue does. So if I click on this, you would see a title, description, and then you have added a button name. And I've told here, like, don't do anything, just go to the next step. So we have different kinds of options here where I can say, instead of just like skipping and going to the, like continuing the flow, I can actually take them to a specific URL. So I can click on external URL and add a specific URL. So when they click that, it takes them to that particular page. So the use case would be something like, before you start going through this product, read about us. So you could add that link, and then they open that, and then they go through that. The second one would be like, you could also add an existing flow so that you can make the whole flow interactive based on the question or based on the user base you have. So example, you can say, like, what do you want to see? So, and then you can say the first one would be like e-commerce section, the second one will be like product details, third one would be like dashboard. You can create 3 different flows, and you could link for each flow the different link here. So you can select here, and all the different flows which are available, you can just select them.
Correct.
Sorry.
So one thing I think here we need to, I think, explain people is that before you use interaction queue, it's important that you create all the flows which you need to link to earlier, right? So when you're going forward with this particular flow or interactive demo, then you already have the flows ready. Otherwise, you need to go back and create. So that's kind of a rework. So always create your flows first and then come back for the interaction queue so that you can connect with them without any hassles. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a prerequisite if you're using existing flow. Yes, thank you, Karan. So the next one would be, I can add more buttons here. I can just say add one more button here and then name it. So based on my requirements and how I want my end users to experience it, I can configure the entire interactive queue button here. Then we have next set of elements, which are basically clicks. So wherever I've clicked while I was recording, those automatically get captured, and a hotspot is created automatically for it with auto-generated text based on whatever was there in the recording or in the particular website. So we have already like auto-generated, like click on applications. And there are scenarios where you would want to, like example, in this case, it's saying click on integrations and it's giving much more details. So I would want to like re-update this or like modify this. So I can just go ahead and do that. And then for each hotspot, then we support like multiple formats. So we have only click. In that case, we're just going to show the click here. The second one would be click with title, where in the end user view, when the hotspot shows up, it will just show the title. The third one would be title with description. So you will see the click, the title, and the description. So again, this is by use case, we could actually add these details and then select the right format which you want to choose. And there are scenarios, let's say if I am having the click here or the hotspot here, and there is some information which gets hidden behind it. So in that case, you have an option to like modify the position of this hotspot. So you can just say like go down, and then this will go at the bottom, and then all the information there will be taken care of. So this is how like all the different hotspots have been created. If you feel that okay, there's a particular hotspot which you don't want, it was just a click which was done. So in this case, let's say click on applications. I don't want my end users to click on that. Then I can just say hide it. So we have hide and show option. Then you have zoom in option. So when the end user sees it, there's a Kanban effect which happens where the video actually zooms into that particular point in time, and then it shows that there. Sorry. Yeah. So these are all the different elements which have been added. At last, I can just say that, okay, restart the flow, or I can add a specific link. And I can add my own interaction queue. Let's say if I missed a particular hotspot at a particular point in time, or if I want to add an interaction queue at a specific point in time, we could do that from here. So let's say if I want to come here at a specific point in time and then say hotspot. and then I can add the text here. So I can say here, enter text here on the task. So this is a way to like add manual hotspots. Similarly, you can add interaction queues at a specific point in time. It's to be noted that at any point in time, we can have only one interaction queue. Otherwise, it looks like a pop-up over the pop-up. So we try to avoid that and not have end users experience something bad. So at any point in time, there'll be only one interaction queue. Then we have trim. Let's say for some reason, while recording the flow, if you had something in the stat or the end, which you want to trim it out, you could just do that by like moving this left and right, and then have only the sections to be played out. So you could do that. Similarly, crop would actually crop this, like remove the sections which you don't want to show up, and then only that particular section will show up. So once all this is done, you can say publish now. And this gets published. So once it's published, this is how the end user view looks like. So I'm just going to quickly play this. So now as a product head, sorry, I'm going to mute this. So if you see here, it's going to play this flow as a video. And whenever there's a click which is available, it'll automatically pause and have user click on it. Until the user clicks, it won't go further ahead of that. So let's say I click anywhere, it won't do anything. So you are making sure that your end users click on this particular action here. Similarly, like you could do each of these clicks. And there's a video playing in between that also will come. There's another option where if you don't want to play any video in between, but just want the clicks to come up, then you say Swift play on, copy this link. Now, when you play this flow, there won't be any videos played in between. Instead, now it will like hop between the clicks.
That's
so this
nice.
Another feature where like while recording, you record it as a video with different actions done, but your end user would just want to like do the clicks and get a complete experience of how your product looks like. So we support both because again, use cases vary where you would want to show something. Like example, I would want to type something and I want users to see this. Then I would turn off like the skip video. In the other case, I would just skip video where I just want them to click and then experience the product. So this is one of the features we have. Then we have copy embed code. Again, same thing. So let's say I want to copy this flow on Notion. Sorry, embed this flow on Notion. So I add the embed link, whatever I copied there, and then the flow shows up here. Yeah, so this is the flow. And then, so now so this shows up here. Now this is about interactive demo, what I've created. Now there are some things which we also have, like I mentioned, we have different kinds of formats. Since you have recorded once, the beauty with Floik is like you don't have to re-record this again and again if you had like different use cases. So let's say if for the entire demo, what I created now, if I wanted to convert it into a guide, so what I could just do is like click on generate a guide and click on generate now. So what it would do now is based on the clicks, whatever had been done, it would automatically identify that and it would convert it into a document version of it. So it's going to take some time as it needs to process and create images at specific point in time. I'll come back to this. Similarly, we could also say that, like I mentioned, if you want to show some visual content and we'll talk about it, you can also say create a video out of it, and you could do that. So from any format at any point in time, you can create all the three formats. So we don't restrict like users from creating any content based on the format they select. So you could do that. Then we have other set of features wherein like based on the plan you're on, if you're on a paid plan, you will get branding related functionalities. So if you see here in Notion or end user view now, the color of this. So if you want to change it based on the brand color, what you have or your website's color. So I can just say here, change this color to something like this, or I can use it. picker and then say use this color. Okay, done. So now you don't have to republish your flows. It auto updates, and then if I change this, just reload the flow. So the color changes here, the button color changes. And even here, if I just reload, it automatically updates the brand details or the brand colors in this. Similarly, we have other functionalities here wherein you can say, so for free users, we have something called show powered by Floik. So if I refresh this page and when I'm playing this flow, in the control bar, now you're going to see powered by Floik. So for paid users, they can turn this off by going to the branding page. Similarly, if you want to update your logo and put your own logo, you could do that here. So I can just say here, select your logo and then use, in my case, I want to use Floik. Yeah, I could do that. And then if I refresh here, it will show up the Floik loop. And there could be use case where you don't want to put any logo or you don't want the header at all, then that also is available as an option. So you say, don't show logo in header. And then we completely hide off the header and then, yeah, we completely hide off the header and we don't show that. If you also see, we have added watermarks here. Sorry.
Oh yeah, this is I think something new that you can hide the header, right? Earlier you couldn't. So this way, then there's no thing. The experience becomes better, like you have a bigger thing to look at.
Yeah, again, the use case might be I just want my end users to get like focus only on the product and not get diverted by different things which show up here. Then I would do something like that. But if I want my brand also to be visible while I'm viewing the content, then that is also possible. Again, use case by use case, it depends on the customer's requirement. Also, here we have, if you see the watermark added, this is also again related to branding. If you say, don't want your branding watermark to be shown, you could enable or disable that. You can also specify where you want to show in the video your watermark. You could do that here. So this is all related to branding. Coming back to the guide, it should have got created by now. Yeah, so if you see here, there are totally 12 steps. It will auto add the titles and then it will say where exactly click needs to be done. And then here, now this is a view only version, so I can say publish now. While this publishes, we have different kinds of options where if at all there was a particular step which was missed, I can say plus and add a step. I can upload a manual image and then I can upload an image and then make that work here. So now if I open this will look something like this. So it's a read-only version of the entire, like whatever you saw in interactive demo, it's a read-only version of it.
Can you show how they upload them? How can they upload an image in the middle of the flow?
Yeah, so let's say I go back here, edit.
Vishek, also let's show them exactly what kind of editing features we have on guide, whether they can actually change the hotspot and everything as well.
Yeah, doing that. So I can say here, add an image. So let's say I want to add the product details, order details page somewhere in the middle. I could do that here. I can also say here now, order details here, and then we have rich text here, so you can change that. You can add a link to this. You can add description here, so you can say section. So I can say make this bold, make this italic, and let's say I just want to the list, and then I want to add the link for that. So now if I say publish, okay, before I do that, there are some more operations here, like I can say, don't show the mouse click. It's kind of, I don't want to see that. So I can just say disable mouse click. Or let's say for some reason, the mouse click wants to be changed. Let's say if user has by mistake clicked here, it was supposed to be clicked here. Then they could do that by saying edit mouse click and they can get exactly at a specific point in time. And then that works. So this is the next thing here. Once done, click on publish.
Wow, this is something which I think earlier you just had the disable mouse click option, right?
Yeah. So you could disable if you don't want that ripple effect to see, to be shown to the end users. Now, if I refresh the page here, this was the thing which I added. It came up here, and then it will show the link. All of that will be visible here for your end users. So this is on the guide. Similarly, you can say don't show author, show table of content. So let's say if I say show table of content. So here author name is there. Let's say I don't want to explicitly do that information. I could just do that. So here I've enabled table of contents, so it shows up here. I've disabled author, so that shows up. So all that could be controlled when you share from the settings here.
Okay, I think a question some people had is about the table of contents, right? So when you're embedding this, how does that work? I mean,
I'll show you.
do they see the table of contents? Yeah.
Yeah, so again, that is a case by case basis. So I can say copy embed code with content or without content. So it depends on the available estate you have on your website or on your page. So if you have a lot of space, then you can just do here and then you will see. Sorry, one second. It will show up here, the table of content, and if you want, you could hide and show based on this one. So again, that is something we could enable and disable that from here. And we have options here where, like, based on the tool where you want to embed, the corresponding code gets changed. So this copy embed code is different for each of this. So we've given support for all these things. And if for generic ones, you could just use generic option.
Correct. So it kind of makes it native to that platform, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So even if, let's say, user opens the same URL from Notion on a phone, they would have the same experience as they have on a desktop. You know, it won't be
Yeah.
much
Correct.
like generic. And do you plan to add more native integrations? For example, you know, any other sites or note-taking platforms, or let's say WordPress, right, as a platform? Because many people they embed flows on WordPress. Like around 40%, 50% of the internet is powered by that platform. Do you like plan to add that in future?
So tools like WordPress, Webflow, all these things, the generic embed works. There is nothing specific to WordPress which needs to be done. But yeah, if there are specific use cases where for WordPress separate kind of styling is needed, we'll look into that and probably get back on that. But the generic embed will automatically work there.
Makes sense. I think the community had a tool launched, I think a few years ago, called as I don't it was called as Nimbus Note, and right now it has rebranded itself into FuseBase, right? So it's kind of Notion. So if you have plans to get that integration done, I think that would be great for a community. Otherwise, I feel the Notion embed should work for FuseBase embed as well.
Yeah,
So
so
they can kind of do the same things. It's not as FuseBase, FuseBase, FuseBase.
FUSC, yes, FuseBase.
Yeah.
I will. Oh.
Yeah, you can write. I think they've rebranded themselves, so it's an LTD. So you can write FuseBase, note taking, and stuff like that. Or AppSumo, like that will. It's an AppSumo right now.
Yeah,
the first
I
one.
will. Yeah, I will have a look at this and I'll get back.
Correct. So because it's used like by everyone, so I think a native integration to this might be a good option for people to directly go and use Floik and FuseBase together.
Got it, got it. Surely I'll check this. I'll see if the generic embed works or if there's something specifically done for this. We'll have a look at it and get back.
Yeah, I think
Perfect.
what you just mentioned, and I think Joe is also looking at it. So if it is actually very similar to Notion, Joe, you can try out the Notion embed code and let us know if it is working. If it is not, happy to actually solve it for you. You can reach out to us on email or support at any given point of time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so I covered in guides, interactive demos, screen-only video is also similar to that. I'm going to jump on to insights. So once I've shared a flow with users, I can actually see who all, like how many clicks have been done, how many views have been done. So that data is available here. So for every flow which I've created, I can see the data related to that. It gives an aggregated information on all the different flows which I've created. So this helps me as a creator to understand like what is the usage of my flow and see where is the traction on the different flows which I've created. So this is on insights. There is a roadmap on this where we're working on more advanced insights, which will give like a hotspot level and a CTA level information. So that is something we're working on. Then the next one, since I am on RH business plan, so you would see Teamspace enabled. So for everyone else, you'll just see my space. So in this case, all the flows what you create will be the home here. Now you could also add members here. So since I'm on RH business plan, so I can go to team and I can add users here. So let's say I invite this user, and then this particular user gets a mail, and then they will, once they log in, they will be part of this particular flow space. Now, in that case, what happens is we have something called as team space. So any flow which I want to share, in this case, let's say Anish, I would add that here and then have like we both can actually view this, and then I can see insights on that, or he can see insights on that. So this becomes like a common space for like both of us as a team to view all the flows which have been created and see all the details related to that. So this is a common space. This is private space, so only the creator or the logged in user can see the data. Nobody else can see that data here. And all the flows are grouped by buckets. By default, all the flows gets created under my flows. User can actually go and say, select a particular flow and then move it to, you move it, like you can say here, select this and then say move it to a particular folder and then move a flow and then organize. Basically, this is on organizing your flows based on your different use cases you have. So we could do that. Again, here we show recently created flows. Team space is similar construct. It will have different folders created where different users can see different flows and then make them accessible by other users within the same flow space. Insights will again show all the data with respect to both MySpace and TeamSpace. So if anything shared here, everyone will have access to that.
Got it. And so no one can access what you have on MySpace, right? Or
Yeah, that's
only if you decide to have the any flow in MySpace, which goes into TeamSpace, and they
yeah,
invite someone on the TeamSpace to see it. Only then they can see it.
correct. So in this case, let's say this particular flow which I created now, I can just say move it to TeamSpace under this folder. I could do that. So in this case,
Got
this flow goes away from here and it goes and sits in TeamSpace. But otherwise, whatever you create in MySpace is always secure and private and accessible only by the logged in user. Nobody else will have access to that. And TeamSpace also, you can see all the flows which are created here, but the other person cannot edit that. Like they will have access to it. They can see what all has been done. This is to avoid like unnecessary edits, versioning, and all of that will come into. So only the creator can edit. Everyone else can view and get details about that particular flow.
Got it. So are you planning, let's say, in future to assign roles? So it's editor or viewer,
Correct.
say
So that
anyone,
is
anyone whom you trust, right? Say that you know that Naman has to edit any flow because you have assigned him to edit any flow, or Naman told you that you have to go and edit something in this flow. So can, let's say, Naman invite you and give you the permission of editor?
Yeah, so that is something again in the roadmap. You see here, like in team, we can add users. At this point, They are all part of the team space. There's a default role internally which has been associated with them. We're going to have features in future wherein you can say, in this case, I can say, I can add Naman and say Naman will have specific privileges where he can just publish a flow, or he can just view a flow, or he can do both publish and view, but he can't do edit. So based on different roles and permissions, we could have those capabilities available here and have the owner of the flow space decide what permission and role is to be associated with a particular user. So that is, yeah, definitely on the roadmap.
Yeah, adding to that answer, Karan, like how we look at internally is how we can actually make this content creation and sharing pretty collaborative in terms of how Google actually does it does it for us guys, right? Whether it's a Google Doc or a Google Sheet or a slides, right? So we want users to actually look at it from that point of view and collaborate to that kind of extent.
Makes
So
sense.
from the sharing to roles and permissions to exactly commenting, we are going to work on it every like on every aspect of it.
Got it. And I think, yeah, from the so we can look at two more things, which I think many people haven't seen it, which means into when you go into each flow, you have the option of cropping it, right? So how does a crop flow look like? And even when we see the comments aspect, right? So we have disabled replying to the comments. So can you show like when a flow is generated, how can someone go and first comment and then see it inside, you
So
know?
I could come into the end user view. Sorry, 1 second. I have to open the. Let's take this example. I'll copy the link for this. On the flow here. Now, when the end user actually watches this flow, I'll mute this. And at a specific point in time, let's say I want to ask a question. I can just say, what does this tool mean? Where is the link for this? So this is assuming I am actually an end user view who has no idea how this product works. So I want to ask some questions. I could do that. So I can provide that. And it's anonymous as well as like we have kept it anonymous by default, but you could actually specify name and email as well. So I can say here and then send. Now what happens is he has added a comment at a particular point in time. Now I can go here and then I will see all the comments which have been added. So it shows the comment which has been added and it will tell that, okay, at this point in time, the comment was added. Like there are different comments which have been added. So you could see that. So this helps creator actually get some feedback on what is happening with your flow. Where is it? Like if there is any specific feedback which has come from user on like anything which needs to be updated or modified, you could do that and then republish the flow and answer them accordingly. So that is one.
Correct. So I think, yeah. So in the I had kind of one use case which I'm thinking, and I think if we can check it out, let's say we all work in the B2B SaaS space, right? So there, let's say when we're capturing emails, right, and then someone comments.
Yeah.
So automatically that person who is not associated or have an account with Floik, or they might be completely external, or might be let's say a VP of a big company. Can they be added into a workflow or let's say a CRM? For example, I use HubSpot, right? But because this lead commented, they might be, let's say, interested to request a demo, or kind of might be like interested to try out Floik, or let's say I'm talking from the perspective of a user or a SaaS using this product, correct? So let's say if Salesforce uses Floik, and anyone who tries on this flow about, hey, this is great, something like that. So can they be added to a CRM, and then the Salesforce CRM team, they follow up with them and then close the deal, right? So because that person shows some interest.
Understood. Kind of like lead capture and lead gen.
Correct. So giving that angle, so that it will make it more business critical as well, right? So let's say you can push this person because they gave their email from their consent, right? It's not that we are capturing it, but they
Yes.
decided that they want to write name and email. So that way we can have this use case. What do you think about this?
Yeah, so the data is definitely available. Yeah, we are working on that, like the use cases on like how we could make this data available to our creators. Like we are working on some integrations, thinking through that, where we could provide different kinds of integrations to our users, like CRM tools or Salesforce or something like that, where we can actually add these, like load these users and actually have them next set of actions can be taken around that. Something being discussed, not something taken up currently.
Correct. I think this would be a good option, because people, they have their flows ready, and this once this goes, I think you would be much ahead than whatever
Mm.
competition you have to beat. I think you have beaten almost everyone, but this will then give you a bigger thing. But yeah, that this is what the comment and everything. This is very, very good. We can also look at how you crop, things out, inside any flow. That's something very interesting. Very less people have seen that. And
Yeah,
then you
so
can
we
also see the AI voiceover and how the subtitles work.
Yeah, this is something we have recently updated our crop feature as well. Abhishek, like can actually walk you through like what new updates we have on the same.
Yeah, so this is the default crop what we have currently on production, where you could just select the region and then based on the aspect ratio, you could update like the resize the position of the crop. We are currently working on a new feature related to crop where we could do free crop. Right now, if you see, it will actually go in a specific dimension based on the video aspect ratio, what it was recorded in. We're working on different crop related functionalities where the resize or the crop region can be decided um, based on different properties what you have. Like you can say, make it for YouTube, so it will show the crop region accordingly, or you can make it a free crop, or you could do something like a 9:16, 16:9. So different aspect ratios we provide, like the standard crop aspect ratios. And we also give free crop. Let's say I just want to like get rid of that black strip on the top, so I could just do that. So that is
Right.
something, I mean,
So
yeah.
defining presets, right? So let's say for YouTube, for Instagram, for any other platform,
Mm.
you can have presets, and it will then, of course, I think right now it goes in one direction. If you I think diagonally, then
Yeah,
it can have it can go from horizontal and then you can have it vertical. Right? That's what you mentioned.
correct,
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely. Actually, current couple of users were using us to record the mobile screen as well and create an interactive demos. That's where we thought, okay, the rest of the screen is not looking good, and that what they had was just the aspect ratio crop. So what we what we came up with, like we give them the complete freedom how they actually want to crop the video and based on which they want to use it up. So yeah.
So this is
Makes
one
sense.
example, like I am just recording a specific simulator. I just want to crop. I don't want all the left and right part of it. I just want this particular mobile to be recorded. I could do that using crop. So that is on crop. Similarly, we will have AI voiceover. So by default, original voice is selected at any point in time. Let's say while recording, if you don't want your voice to be used, instead you want AI voice to be added. So we have, based on the voice, we will first initially generate the script and auto create that, and then we will have options for the user to go ahead and then make necessary tweaks into the script and create necessary script around that.
Correct. And I think for people to note this thing, but if you have recorded in any other language,
Yeah, I will show.
so always make sure that I think you're using the right
Mhm.
country's AI voiceover, right? Because I think that's when it will, you know, make it relevant to your conversion as well, right?
Hmm.
Or the accent which you spoke. So it
Correct.
sounds more real.
Yeah, so we have like different kinds of voices available here. So based on that, we could actually select that and create based on the accent, you could make the changes and create that. So if you
Yeah.
see here, like it is created automatically different elements or sections of the audio. User can go ahead and make the change. So if I play this now, it will actually do that change. And now if I go back and I say publish, now instead of
available here, and then you can go and see what are all the features available here. So this is my dashboard page. You can see all the different graphs which are available here.
So it will talk that. So it's going to process and publish that, but then you could get an experience of how the audio will play here itself before the publish happens. So based on that, you could make the tweaks. I hope you guys could hear the audio.
Yes.
So you can make those changes and then make necessary tweaks in the script and then publish it again.
Got it. Yeah, that's amazing. I think because for subtitles, a lot of people have to integrate third-party service or have to download and then upload their SRT file, making it very much a long hassle. So if you're giving the subtitles over here, that's amazing. Then we have two questions. I think you can answer it. One, I will I think if you already know the competitor, otherwise we would let you know. One is, what is your CDN? Where are its point of presence in India or Singapore? Basically, where you guys have the servers? Or like,
Vidya, can you?
Yeah, so guys, like if you ask us, so we are using AWS internally, and if like the part of the geography that we guys are using is typically like India, US, and Singapore, all of them. It depends on whether the location of like what the location of your user is. It depends on that.
Based on the nearest location where you are, it will take that corresponding CDN and store the data there.
okay, if I think Vidya wants to type in, you can type in the chat. The chat is open.
Okay.
One second, let me check. Yeah, now I think Vidya is here with us. So Vidya, if you want to come on the panel and also talk to people with we have Naman and Abhishek, you can do that. I can invite you. So for people who don't know Vidya, Vidya is the co-founder of Floik, and so he's here as well. Yeah, I think makes sense. Sure, we'll wait for Vidya to type the answer. And till then, we have one more question, which is about the competitor, which is known as Comodo Dex.
Yeah.
I think Naman might have seen this around. So Naman, what do you think? I think I'll let you answer this if you have seen this before.
This is actually pretty interesting, right? In terms of how Commodore Dex is in comparison with Floyd from the point of view, one, use case, and the second, product capabilities, right? So I've actually dealt with lot of users from RocketHub in terms of how do they want to compare with Commodore Dex. It has been coming up again and again and again, and I'm like, okay, either we need to build something like a battle card with Commodore Deck, but I'll keep it very brief, guys. If you look at like the Tango or like Komodo Deck kind of guide feature, when I say, and the second, video recording, right? Which is something very similar to Loom, right? In that case, we have a pretty much we have a very similar experience related to Komodo Deck, right? What we have in that is advanced analytics, right? So if you look at like what we have right now and what we are coming up with, you'll see how fast or how in-depth analytics we can give you, how your content is being consumed. Based on that feedback, how you can actually improve your content, how you can know about your users. If you really, like, for example, if you have a SaaS product, you can actually know a lot about which user is looking at what part of video. So that might help you in prospecting, that might help you in like marketing, that might help you in solving your customer queries as well. So that is one part of it. Second, I don't think like Commodore Decks have an interactive demo kind of solution as well. So definitely you get the guides, you get the videos, but you don't get the interactive demo, which is the what I really feel is the next big thing in product collaterals, right? So if you'll see all the folks, big VCs also talking about how interactively we can distribute our product, how we can actually make our users, our customers interact with the product before actually using it, or maybe after using it, whatever, like based on your use case. So that is the next big thing which you actually get it here. And we launched it in August, as I mentioned previously, and it is going to get better and better and better. So yeah, that's the major thing. If you have anything specific to ask about any format, happy to answer for you guys.
Great. And you don't need to compare. Like, take Floik and be happy. There's nothing else you should ever consider after you have Floik, because definitely the team is going places, the product is going places, and we at RocketHub, we only work with the best. So there's no chance you should ever think anywhere else. So grab it now. I think the person who asked this, he already grabbed it while he was watching the session. That's amazing. So great. I think Vidya answered the question about CDN. So the servers are in the US, and for CDN, they use the standard distribution to many edge locations across US, Europe, and Asia. Asia, particularly Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that answers your question, Jagan. Thank you so much for asking. This is a good one. There's one question from Daniel about uploading their own voiceovers.
Yeah. I think I've interacted with Daniel before, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So maybe on our Floyd chat support as well, or on email. So hi Daniel, how are you? Anyways, so about uploading your own voiceovers, we are actually working on it. So it's not just voiceovers, we are actually working on adding your background music as well. But it is definitely going to take some time. Expect that something around maybe next quarter, and we'll be happy to pick it up as well.
Perfect. I think that will be another game changer.
Yeah.
If people have their own voiceovers already, let's say recorded, they got something done from let's say Fiverr, right? So that can Fiverr file which they get from any customer, any the supplier, they can just upload it, and then that integrates.
Yeah, that actually comes out Karan, if we talk about it, right? We want to give freedom to the creators to actually
Correct.
create their own product content, howsoever that will work around. Though it will take some time for us guys to actually build upon small things, but definitely we hear you guys. We have everything on our roadmap, and we are going to build up for you guys.
Amazing. And I think let's also answer that the one thing and get that rid of as well. But we saw some people asking that why don't we have more than 10 minutes of recording? Why do you give it as to just 10 minutes? I think Naman and Abhishek can answer that for you over here, because they have, of course, if it's 10 minutes, they would have thought about why just 10 minutes is required to
Yeah.
showcase. So yeah, Naman, and Abhishek, to you on this.
The reason why we did that was like we had done a lot of research on this, where we wanted to actually find out the sweet spot where our end users, whether it's our end users or our customers' end users, don't end up like just skipping the video or like not watching the video entirely. The shorter the videos, the better they watch and they completely watch. So the bite-sized videos is actually a hit. If you look at reels and everything which is coming out in the market, the shorter the videos, the better they come out. So that's why we introduced a feature instead of like making it bigger, like instead of making 10 minutes more, we actually introduced the feature of interaction queues. So at any point in time, if you want from switch to like one place to another, use interaction queues, use an existing flow and have the user branch out from there instead of having to create like a 30-minute, 20-minute video and have them like go through that. Like that is something which we found as some of the insights based on different discussions which we had with our customers and potential customers. So that was the reason why we kept it max 10 minutes.
Yeah, in addition
Correct.
to when I started off introducing Floik, right? I used a phrase called we are a product collateral platform. So we want to actually be taken up like a product collateral platform. We want you to actually tell about your product collaterals and everything. And ideally, what we really felt, 10 minutes are good enough time period for you guys to actually take benefit out of it and explain what really your product means. So apart from that, it really becomes a very long video. So that's why we kept the limit.
Correct. And even makes sense, right? So anyone who's watching a demo, they won't watch demos like for, hours, right?
Yeah.
They only watch because they have to be quick in determining this feature. So let's say if you have uh, 10 different features available on a SaaS tool or your sales collateral or whatever proposal, even a proposal, right? So if you're
Mhm.
sharing a proposal, you want to explain a proposal, you go through, let's say, section A, section B in the next 10 minutes maximum. You
Yeah.
have that as a flow. And then, or then use an interaction queue to then go to other sections, right? So interaction queues is your solution if you think that, oh, I just want
Mhm.
everything into, one particular link that goes to a client, and then they can just, you know, uh, keep going through this. So it's a rabbit hole, right? But we recommend that if you're creating videos, don't create longer versions. Just whatever is consumable doesn't take a lot of time because um, the person at the other end, they don't have a lot of time as well to see it.
Absolutely. And we have a very short attention span as well these days, right? We are living in the era of YouTube Shorts and Reels. So guys, that's what we have an answer for you. And I recommend you to actually use interactive demos as well. We feel that is the way going forward.
Makes sense. And yeah, Jagan had a question. I think we also saw Vartika answering about advanced analytics, which is coming soon, I think next year.
Yeah.
So Jagan says analytics is interesting. Are we like going to see where viewers dropped off or rewind and heat maps, right?
Yeah, so what we are doing right now is a basic insights, what you're seeing here. One of the advanced insights, the features what we have there is like if a user has restarted a flow while watching, we'll have that data. And at what point in the video have they dropped, or like even though it's a 1 minute video, since the attention span is less, or if the video is not something they want to watch, or at a particular point in time, let's say I've clicked two CTAs or hotspots and I just want to drop. So we'll have all that data, which will come as part of advanced insights.
That's amazing. Yeah. Joe is saying, I did a 45-minute YouTube video once. My friend said they watched it. They got a that's how we do, right? We say, oh, someone sends a link, and then after 2 minutes we say, oh, it's an amazing video, but we haven't seen
Absolutely.
the whole video.
I can relate to it. I can be one of that kind of friends as well.
Looks like he's a very good friend.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Jagan had a last question. First of all, he says Floik is great. Thank you so much. He's coming from Big Two, so he thinks this is one of the best. Thanks, Jagan. So Jagan has a question about video branching. Connect a series of video guides with branching. And then second, he says about hooks and API. At the end of videos, forward the viewers to URLs, also Pabbly Connect and Flowmatic. So I think second one already answered by Abhishek that they're working with integrations. They're working on some integrations which will be rolled out to you. You have to connect your flows and with third party or do some stuff when the flow ends. So I think they're introducing this next year. Next is about the video branching. So Abhishek, you want to take this up?
So
Connect a
video,
series of video guides with branching.
yeah, so we have like again here, from the feature perspective, we have given something called as the interaction queues, which I mentioned. So if you have one flow, you add interaction queue at any point in time. Let's say somewhere at this particular, sorry, and then say interaction queue, select a flow and add it. So this is one of the ways where you could actually add a flow, and then you can keep on adding that. That is one way. But yeah, one of the features which is there in the roadmap is also like figuring out like based on a certain condition, load this particular flow. So if a user is, let's say, above 18 or below 18, or based on the role you're in, or based on the permissions you're going to give the user. So based on different questions which you're going to have as the creator, which I want to ask my end users. Based on that, I want my end users to experience that particular branch. I could do that here. So if you see here, we have given a very simple branching out here where you just like click on that and go. Something which we'll have in future is actually based on a condition branch out. So that is something there. I hope that answers your question.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's what he was looking for. Let's address one of the last few things, which is about, I think many people had this, but the use case won't match. I think that's a future thing about having a desktop or downloadable, thing, right? People mentioned that if I have something which is non-browser, right? I have something going on. For example, we have a SaaS product like Screaming Frog, right? That only operates on a desktop. We have for example, you have certain software which they're not cloud-based. So do you have any plan to, in future, introduce anything which you can record non-browser,
So recording of non-browsers is still allowed. Only thing is the magic what Floik does with browser-related elements would not be possible because of the limitations what non-browser things have. Like example, the elements which needs to be added or the click which needs to be captured, which a browser could provide us is not there with a non-desktop thing. But yeah, we are already like exploring some of the features what a desktop app would have, and we are trying to see if we could actually achieve that using it. But at this point, yeah, you could, like, we are not restricting users. So whenever you're starting a recording, instead of tap share, you could go ahead and select entire screen, which would, so here I could just say entire screen, and your like entire monitor gets shared, which can also capture your desktop app. So example is this one. So where I've actually, so this is a desktop app which I've captured. It's a Xcode simulator. It's not a browser. So I went ahead and I captured the entire recording with that.
Great. So yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I think an entire screen means you can just tab it and open a browser, open the desktop.
Yeah.
Great. So I think yeah, the interactive elements can only be added when you are doing it on a browser. That's what support is given right now. Okay.
Yeah. Also, like even if you end up doing that, like because of the browser limitations, we are restricted, but you could still come as a user and say add a hotspot or an interaction queue at this point in time. You could do that here manually.
Got it. Makes sense. Joe has a question. Any plans to create a Floik FB group to share flows and help with support? Yeah, I think Naman heard you guys. He commented that they are discussing internally. Primarily we are Slack guys. We are B2B guys. So we kind of have Slack community where you can join. We love Slack, but Facebook is of course where you guys hang out. So we were definitely thinking about it. So once they have a Facebook group, we will notify you. The Flood team will notify you. Then you can join in, and yeah, it's a good thing that people can share their flows and can learn from each other. That's a good thing, Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely, like what just Karan mentioned, I hear you guys, and I've been constantly hovering upon all the Facebook groups, looking at what you guys are actually talking about. Is it good, bad, and how actually we can improve on? Absolutely, we have been discussing it, but we have not taken a decision yet whether we want to create a Facebook community or not. But we'll keep you posted for sure.
No one has been like, I think most you have been in the Facebook groups is right now in the last 2 months.
No, last two, I have actually used Facebook in the last 5 years. I haven't used this much Facebook in the last 5 years that I have used it in the last 2 months, man.
So even Vartika told me that she had an account which was 8, 9 year old. She activated right now, last 2 months for just Facebook and introducing herself to the
Yeah.
community. And I think Vidya is not there on Facebook. He's there only on LinkedIn. So yeah, that makes sense. All right. Let me see if there's anything which we can address. So Naman, what do you think? Like,
Mhm.
I think you have been interacting with a lot of users in the backend
Yeah.
about Floik. What have you been hearing in terms of what is the future of Floik? Let's say because 2024 you have a roadmap already planned, but what are you planning for, let's say, next 5 years? Of like
Yeah.
what do you think we should? Of course, we aim to make it the number one and beat Scribe.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking? What are you hearing from people in the backend? Because RocketHub doesn't see that.
Yeah.
If we can, let's say, become the voice of around 300 people who have bought it from RocketHub. So what would you like to share something, a summarized version?
Absolutely, man. So a lot of good things, honestly, right? And I am honestly not bragging in terms of like what users have been talking about and what kind of feedback we have been getting. So once we have been actually in constant touch with our customers, so they have actually kept it very open-ended in terms of how they have actually selected us above our competitors. That is one. How they feel like is better than like what other players have to offer. And in addition to this, like what kind of different use cases come across for them. So what we really feel is in an organization, you don't have to use 3, 4 different type of softwares along to create those product collaterals. And that's where Floyd comes into picture. We are an all-in-one solution for you guys. Now, it has been pretty heavily adopted by the product teams, by the customer success teams, and a lot of like maybe some founders here, so a lot of founders as well, right? So one thing which is we are yet to see in terms of high growth, we are seeing some product marketing and the sales guys using Flight 2 for their increasing conversions, revenues, and everything. Now we are actually deep diving in terms of building those integrations for them, building those future prospects in terms of how we can help them across realizing the ROI of the tool and everything. So that is one interesting area we want to deep dive on in the next couple of quarters, and additionally keep on improving based on the feedback, how we can create much better product collaterals at a pretty faster rate. So that this is it. And we have actually got a good response on interactive demos. Like a couple of users who actually removed all their GIFs and everything on their help support, and posted around hundreds of interactive demos, small interactive demos into their help docs. So pretty interesting journey till now, and I'm very excited for the growth, like in terms of what we'll achieve in the next couple of quarters. So hands down, we are actually we have good runway. We have a good team who is working day in day out to make it happen, and definitely have guys like you who are happy to support us in our journey. So yeah, pretty all like a heavy plus for us guys.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you, Abhishek, for such a great demo. I think needed, summarizing Floik in a very small short of time. Like you can, like, of course, if someone goes in, they will take, it's a big software to kind of have your view around. Once you go in, there are many things, small things, which, people should, whenever they see it, they would feel like, okay, that's amazing. And we have Jagan saying that he's going to use this at his university, so you can
Mm-hmm.
even add education as your use case or under your solutions. I think that's
Absolutely.
amazing. Universities would love this.
Yeah.
Instead of how they work right now, instead of handing out papers and everything, they can just share a flow, and that will like help everyone. Um, you know, scroll through. So awesome.
Awesome.
Great, great. So, any questions, folks, you have from your end, just post them in the Q&A box. We take the questions. I think you have done good. Let us know, and otherwise we will wrap it up. I think we've answered every question. If not, then we're going to wrap it up. So, yeah, cool. Thank you so much, Naman. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you, Abhishek, for your time. Um, so, folks, thank you so much. We would see you next in the next Rocket Hub exclusive. And yep, so Vidya is saying something. He's saying there's some cool features coming. And yeah, of course, GIF, I think is coming out. I saw the roadmap, so GIF will be
Yeah.
there next year. So head out for that. So amazing. Cool. And if you haven't grabbed Floik, just go to rockethub.com/deal/Floik, and we'll send you the replay of this webinar very soon, and we'll then take it from there. Cool. Thank you so much, Naman. Thank you, Abhishek, and
Yeah.
you can
Thank you,
say
guys.
bye to
Have a
everyone.
nice day.
Thank
And
you,
have a
everyone.
nice time. Take care. And a good
All
holiday
right.
season too.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.